Get some ice cream.
Rob and Kale podcasts. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by it.
Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's go.
And welcome into the Rob and Kale Show podcast. I'm Rob Sanders, coming to you from Columbia, South Carolina. I do have a co-host, ladies and gentlemen. He is your friend. He's my friend. He's everyone's friend. If you put a stethoscope next to his heart, you would hear the heartbeat of America. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot Kale Hall. What's up, buddy?
That's a groovy little beat there. I like that one. How's everybody doing tonight?
You're ready to get after it, man, aren't you?
Oh, without question. Without question.
Shout out to Dr. Bark. I appreciate this. I want to remind everyone in the chat room that Georgia is your defending national champions, no matter how much it may hurt your feeling. Very good, sir. When you win, you get to crow about it. Absolutely. And until someone unseats you, you are the national champion. Now, you remember that, though, come December if you're not in the mix to be the national champion. But right now, you can run your mouth because you are the national champion. I appreciate that, Dr. Bart. Good stuff.
Hey, honestly, congratulations to him. I don't have one bit of hate in my heart. I mean, hell, at least they kept Clemson from fucking winning it. You know what I'm saying? Well, that and Clemson's offense, but
yeah, DJ Uyunglele forgot how to be a quarterback, and
they had some other issues.
All right, well, tonight on the program, we are going to talk about college football nonsense during the talking season. The same thing that we're seeing throughout that is just out there. And Jackpot and I have got some of those we'll throw at you. And we'll get into some other things for you here tonight as well. We need to talk a minute about the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. You can get into it right now. We're almost there, Jackpot.
We are almost there, and we need to get some more folks into this thing. It's kind of slowed down a little bit the past few days. We were getting a lot of momentum, getting a lot of folks in, but I haven't had. I think a couple people got in over the weekend, but yeah, other than that, week 0 is like 13 days away. So we're gonna be picking games. Week 0. Now you'll be allowed to get started week 1 if you want, because we'll feature 10, 11 games week 1. I can't remember how many damn games do we do.
we do 10 games. It's 10 games, and is it 11 with the Kale Hall special? I can't remember.
Yeah, it is. It's 11 with the Kale Hall special. Even if it's not. It's going to be this year because I just like having a big assortment of games to pick up. So, I mean, if you're really good at making picks and you don't get in for week 0, there's 7 games there. Like if everybody tanks and only gets like 3 right or whatever, which is entirely possible because there's a lot of short lines there. If you're good at making picks, you could definitely easily make that up. But you still want to get in there. Week 1 in case the contest is really, really tight down at the end. You're like, God dang, I wish I'd picked week 0. I wish I had took that Vandy over Hawaii. Almighty, I wish I had took that Utah State over New Mexico State. I fucked myself.
Yep, you certainly did. All right, so Jackpot, they want us to talk about the situation with Calipari basically squaring off with Stoops. We might get into that in a minute. But before we do that, let's thank Callaway's Bar and Grill for sponsoring the Pick'em Challenge. The wife and I went and had lunch there today after our anniversary round of golf. Happy anniversary, dear. Can you believe that this woman stayed married to me for 18 years, Jackpot? Isn't that some shit?
She is the salt of the earth.
Yeah, she likes charity cases, I think is what it boils down to. Anyway, but no, we went there and had lunch today, and always good stuff, good food, good people at Callaway's Bar and Grill.com. All right, so we also have Dennis Wilson from DNC Trucking and Transport, who is jacked up that Jodeci is coming to the township, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to wear a pimp suit, but he does pay for story time with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, tell us a story, sir.
Is the Township Auditorium still in Columbia?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. They used to have wrestling. They used to have TV tapings there.
They did, yeah. It was interesting. They had the chandelier up there, and the guys were looking at it like they were going to jump off of it. So
yeah, if you watch back some of the old footage there on the Cock, you'll see the old Township Auditorium. Anyway, enough about that. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Did you know that Clemson has more wins in Columbia against the Gamecocks, and South Carolina has wins in the entire series? It's true. It sucks to be a Gamecock, as always. Go Tigers.
Message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport, who will be wearing a pimp suit to the Jodeci concert coming up here in October. All right, Jackpot.
Leonard Sarasota says he sorely misses the SEC opener. Used to take place Thursday night for Labor Day weekend. I believe South Carolina and Vandy played in that game quite a few times. It is now Vols debut night. Yeah, South Carolina and Vandy did play in it a few times. We played them in 2012, I think, and in Muschamp's first game. Which the forgettable era the era we'd like to forget. That was the one there where Elliott Fry hit that long field goal at the end to win that game. We also opened on some Thursday nights against non-conference opponents. We opened up with Southern Miss one year. Maybe that was 2010-ish. I know it was when Larry Fedora was the coach.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. There was
beat the hell out of them too.
Yeah.
We probably fucking beat them by a touchdown now.
Undercover Boss, you just sent his entry fee in. Make sure we have his money ready at the end of the season. Okay, sir. As I tell you, because I'm right 99% of the time. Thank you for your donation, because that's basically what it boils down to with a lot of folks. So
Zona Tucson 93 says Carolina Jackpot is Oregon State your favorite team in the Pac-12, now Pac-10. Yes, it is. The Beeve. Like me some Beeve.
Jackpot loves the Beeve. All right, so Jackpot, there's been some back and forth. Let's talk about this for a second. Have you seen what's going on with Stoops and Calipari at Kentucky?
I have. Mark Stoops out there having to defend his football program. I think it's cute. Yeah. John Calipari's a dick, though. I mean, that guy, why is he even fucking fired yet? I mean, they haven't had any success there in years. I mean, when's the last time has he taken them to a Final Four? Or, have they won?
I can't remember. Like, I always think that
it always runs together. I don't think that I'm sure he's taking them to a Final Four, but did you know that I heard this tidbit the other day on the radio show here in Upstate, ran by Walt, that he's the only coach ever to coach Final Fours at two separate schools, and the Final Four appearances don't even exist anymore because they were forfeited for cheating. At Memphis and at UMass.
So here's the thing, though. Calipari called Kentucky a basketball school, and there's better ways to deal with things than the way that Calipari did it. If I'm Stoops and I'm trying to get top-level talent to come into Kentucky to play football, because look, regardless of what you think, Kentucky's been trying to dump money into that program. They're trying to make it more of a I mean, I don't know if they'll ever get to a point where they're competing and winning the SEC East, but they're not going out there and they're not being just slightly better than Vanderbilt. Okay? I mean, they're really, really trying. And then you hear this guy say, "All right, whatever. We're just a basketball school." I firmly believe that Kentucky can replace John Calipari with someone else, and the basketball program will be fine. But if Mark Stoops leaves the football program, they may go to shit, back to being the shit again. So Calipari just needs to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, why would you try to despair? I mean, why would you, if that program is winning games, the more games it wins, the more money it's making for the university. I mean, that's a win-win for everyone involved, and you are an employee of the fucking university, right? I mean, you don't work for yourself, so I don't get that at all. Very just piss poor. And I mean, I mean, how often do their paths do you think cross there in the athletic building? I mean, that's got to be awkward. I mean,
I personally like the fact that that Stoops was like, you know what, I'm going to defend my program. I kind of appreciate that. I mean, there's probably only 12 Kentucky football fans on the planet, but hey, they all are in the mix of yeah, they want this to be right. So I kind of appreciate that, but we'll see how that works.
Justin P said they once gave Adolph Rupp a Cadillac. Bryant got 10 wins and gave him a cigarette lighter. I can tell someone's watched the Junction Boys.
Good point, sir. All right, so I thought we'd go over some of the we're in the middle of talking season, and Jackpot sent me a Twitter exchange between two folks today that they were going back and forth about South Carolina and Clemson stuff, and it was just silly, some of the stuff that was said, but it seems like every year during talking season, there is a big set of, I mean, I call them, I don't really want to call them lies, but it's things that we keep hearing that just aren't happening. So I thought I'd throw some of these at you first, Jackpot. The first one, the Gamecocks have a brutal schedule. I know that just pisses you off to no end, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get fucking tired hearing that every year. I mean, it's every year. You hear it. Well, the schedule's brutal this year. Schedule's brutal this year. I get it. I mean, they play Clemson every year. They play Georgia every year. I mean, these are teams that are probably routinely going to be ranked in the top 5, if not in the damn top 10. They play Texas A&M every year. That may change soon. I don't know. Hope it does. But it's the same thing. I mean, the non-conference schedule, it is what it is. But I mean, if we ended up, I swear, if we had a home game with Mississippi State, home games with Vanderbilt, or the road games with Vanderbilt and all the tough teams like the Georgia and the Texas A&M and that were all at home, and in Vanderbilt and all the easy ones were on the road. It's still, somebody would still say it is a brutal schedule, brutal. Blah, blah, blah. You play in the SEC. Everyone claims to be the best. It's the best conference in college football. I mean, so everybody's schedule is going to be difficult.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people use that as an excuse to say, all right, well, we went 7-5 because this happened. And then this schedule was great and all that, but it's silly. And by the way, you can't really determine the schedule till the end of the season. If you remember from story time with Uncle Jackpot from a couple of weeks ago, in the regular season last year, Clemson finished playing against more ranked teams than South Carolina did. Sorry, I know that hurts feelings. Nobody wants to hear that, but it's the absolute truth. So there's that. All right, let me answer David Moore's question here really quick. He asked me if I heard anything about Xavier Thomas's injury. That kid's had a rough go of it, dealing with COVID and everything else. But I think that I heard from some folks that he may have broken a toe. I don't know how accurate that is, but I've heard that from 4 different people that I trust. So if you broke a toe, that depending on how bad it's broken, they can fix that and get you mended up and well. But I know it sounds silly, but he can take time and heal that toe. It's not really going to hurt them on the depth chart much. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't start anyway, to be honest. But we'll see on the Xavier Thomas front. But yeah, broken toe is what I've heard. There you go. Joseph.
Can't do anything about that either. I mean, you can't put it in a cast.
Yeah, you just wrap it up. That's it. Deal with it. You may have to reset it. I mean, other than that, it's not much you can do. All right. So
speaking of Bear Bryant, Bear Bryant said he played a half against Tennessee, dragging a broken ankle or a broken leg or something. So I mean, I think this guy can. He was telling this quarterback that on the Junction Boys. He said, "Now, what is this shit about your elbow?" So I think he might could. I think. Well, I mean, this is a team that. I mean, I'm not talking about injuries here, but we talk about Sean Watson kicked the Gamecock's ass on one leg. Blah, 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 blah. They got a good training staff there. I'm sure they can patch that guy up, and he can go ahead and operate on that toe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they can. Hell, I don't know. Maybe they can operate on. I don't know. The big toe is a big thing there.
Troy Stiletto. Now that guy's out for the year.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. And by the way, Pete,
I don't know who that is, but
yeah, he's a wide receiver that was highly touted that was coming in, was supposed to help out on that front. But start talking about injuries. I hear Jackpot singing this.
Deeble dobble, deeble dobble, deeble dobble doo, deeble dobble, deeble dobble, deeble dobble doo. We are so much better than you.
Exactly. Thank you.
Daddy O says broken toe injuries are a pussy out. Well, I ain't saying nothing.
All right, but moving along, the next big thing we're going to hear about, and we hear it every season, Jackpot, is Texas is back. But since 2010, Texas has had 5 losing seasons. But my God, they are coming back, Jackpot.
Yeah, I mean, you would think. I mean, a few years ago, remember when they beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and and they were running around after that. I think that was 2018, maybe, and they were like, "We're back." We would have thought that they would build on that. They would have kind of expanded on that and used that as a springboard to some more success. But no, it didn't happen. I think they had a losing record the next year. So yeah. I mean, they don't play. They don't play defense there. They don't. I mean, they're defensively just not a very good team historically. It's happened then, and they're going to get boat raced again this year. Alabama's going to absolutely just destroy that team. Not even going to be funny.
The big thing with Texas is, and when you look at their recruiting classes, yes, they get guys that come in and they actually do okay on certain fronts as far as wide receivers and everything else. And they get guys that come in that are somewhat touted at quarterback, but on the defensive line and the offensive line, their recruiting rankings are terrible. And you win and lose at the line of scrimmage. It's just the way that it is. So there's that. All right, the next one is
Hunter Slay says, "Really, guys, UMF can only give 3 likes. Y'all are sorry as hell. Get your ass over there and hit the like button." But then he does say, "Please and thank you." I'm like, "Woo, Lord." I mean, guys, hit the like button, or this Hunter Slay's, I mean, he may murder you in your sleep.
Oh, God, we don't need that. I mean, Hunter Slay is not, I mean, wow.
I mean, I've heard of supporting the show, but come on, man. Come on. You can just throw a super chat. You don't have to. We're not going to resort to violence.
Oh, well, Virtual Kale gets pissed off if people don't hit the like button.
You sorry motherfuckers!
Exactly. You could like the show, damn it. All right. Anyway, the next thing that we have is Texas A&M is going to compete in the West, but since Texas A&M joined the SEC, they only finished with an above 500 record 3 times. But by God, they're going to This is their year. They're going to take over Alabama. They beat Alabama last year, Jackpot. And you know what? You know how many SEC wins they finished with? Even though they slayed Nick Saban. How many SEC wins did they have last year? Do you remember? I can tell you.
5.
4. They finished at 500 in conference play with a win over Nick Saban. They are the epitome of a team that is destined to be 7-5, 8-4 for fucking ever.
They beat what? They beat Nick Saban, the Gamecocks, Auburn, and Mizzou.
Yep, I believe so.
Well, that's just that's a murderer's row right there. Let me tell you.
I know, right?
Line them up.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it seems like we have to hear that every year, right? Same old thing.
Yep, you do. I mean, unfortunately, though, like I said, I in a video the other day, they called Jimbo Fisher. They're calling him the white Kevin Sumlin, because Kevin Sumlin, well, first of all, Kevin Sumlin, he wasn't white, and he finished with like 7 or 8 wins a year. And this like the same thing Jimbo Fisher's doing. They're only paying him like, I don't know, 50 times more money than what Kevin Sumlin was making with no more results. But the only thing about it is we can't get in on any of that. We can't get in on any of that trash talk or that disparaging of Texas A&M because we have not broken through against them. And quite frankly, the last 2 years were quite embarrassing.
Yeah. Big Barney Ross says, "Did you say Texas A&M is going to be incompetent in the West?" Yes. I don't. I'm not on the Texas A&M train. Sorry.
Leonard Sarasota says more likely this season, Tennessee beats Florida or South Carolina beats Clemson. Don't think that's. I don't think that one's really. That's kind of apples to oranges comparison there.
Well, I mean, Tennessee is hosting Florida at home. South Carolina has to go to Clemson.
This is supposed to be the best Tennessee team in decades.
2018. I mean,
Florida this is game like 4 for them, and no one knows if they'll be okay or if they'll be doo-doo. So yeah, I'd say that's a little bit more likely.
Yeah. What would be a better comparison is, will South Carolina get a win over Texas A&M or a win over Kentucky? Because you got to go on the road to play Kentucky. Which one is, one or the other? I think they split those two, by the way. They might do that.
So I'm thinking that.
I think they'll split. So there's a chance. All right, and then the final one. I've got 2 more. Miami will be back. Jackpot. Miami has 7 non-winning conference seasons since they joined the ACC in 2004. Miami is a shithole, but we have to hear every year about, oh my God, they're back. They're back.
Yeah, that too. I mean, every time we get a new coach, they're back. Every time they get, a couple of transfers in, they're back. I mean, they've competed in one ACC championship game and been in there 20 years. I mean, I thought when I thought Miami was going to the ACC, I said, oh shit. I was like, man, they're going to run the train and win that damn thing every year. I mean, I seriously thought that. I was like, it'll be them in Virginia Tech every year winning that conference. I'm like, this is just not even going to be fair. And it hadn't turned out that way on either side. And the only thing now that they do have is I think that Mario Cristobal is going to be, he's a hell of a recruiter, and he's an O-line coach. So I think he's going to strengthen up the line of scrimmage there for Miami. I think that's been one of their downfalls the past few years. So we'll see. But that's one that I hear a lot.
And the final one is Notre Dame will be a playoff team. Now, Notre Dame has been in the playoffs, but they haven't been competitive. But it seems like we have Notre Dame shoved down our throat every single year.
Yeah, every year, they're shoved down your throat, and they basically got to go undefeated to make the playoffs. So that's that's hard to do. So I don't see that happening either. But you do get a lot of Notre Dame hype here. Paul with a good comment says we forgot that South Carolina's offensive line sucks. They'll be lucky to go 6-6 this year. Well, motherfucker, they had a winning record last year with a sucky-ass offensive line. This year, they actually have a quarterback. They've got some valid receivers. And I think last year, that offensive line, I think it was a one-off. I think they were learning the system. I still am sold on the fact that offensive line paved the way for a 1,000-yard rusher the year before that. Facts are facts. I still think there's some talent there. I see that unit being much, much better this year, and they played well in the bowl game as well.
I'm mad. I'm just a little bit perturbed.
Yeah. Leonard says, Rob, you had your choice for Clemson to join the Big Ten or the SEC. What would your preference be? I don't care. I mean, we've talked about this before. I think the way that it's going to end up, I think it would be better as far as matchups go for matchups that I care about if they were in the SEC. But in the end, I want what's best for Clemson. And if they can go to the Big Ten and get more money, which means that they can make better athletic program decisions up there, then I'm all about that too. But I don't like the idea of, hey, during a football season, they could end up with a schedule where they got to play fucking Northwestern, Rutgers, insert, Illinois, Indiana. I mean, that's what the fuck with all that? I just don't give a shit. I mean, those games just don't matter to me. Now, I would like it set up where, Clemson could play some of these teams that are in the SEC. That would be great, but we shall see. We shall see. Shout out
Leonard says he hopes the Notre Dame Leprechaun kicks the OSU right in their Buckeye nuts.
Fair enough. All right,
yeah,
Jack.
I don't think that's happening. They lost a wide receiver for the year too. I saw the other day. But
let's call the show now, and you can sound off 803-470-2905. Christian Carver said, could you imagine if Clemson joined the SEC and they would have to share some of the pie with South Carolina? Look, and we
don't want any of your pie. Y'all probably cook it with squirrel and fucking possum and God, there's no telling what those hillbillies up there. Corn, I make a cornbread crust with them buttermilk.
Well, the pie from South Carolina is filled with the meth and doo-doo I should get from that fucking shithole stadium you have down there. So there's that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, of course it does. But no, we'll take your calls at 803-470-2905. What's the biggest college football lie that you see out there? And we see it every single year. Miami is back. Texas is back. Notre Dame's going to be in the playoff. Oh, God, I'm sick of hearing all of it. All of it. It's a mess. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. Tom says, you're my favorite college football YouTuber, Jackpot. He watches all your videos and enjoys your food reviews. He also enjoys Rob videos during the week. Good luck to your Gamecocks. Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Paul says, do you have any confidence in Satterfield? Would you like me to let Virtual Kale answer that question for you, Jackpot?
Sure.
Do that. All right, Virtual Kale. When we ask Virtual Kale, how do you feel about Satterfield as your offensive coordinator?
I fucking hate him.
Come on, Virtual Kale. Be nice.
Will you read Tony's comment up there real quick that I pinned?
Sure. Hold on, let's see here. Hold on, caller, 1 second. Tony's comment. Hold on, Jackpot. I can't. Oh, what do you think, Jackpot? The Gamecocks O-line coach being healthy the year and being able to be with the team and coaching one-on-one with players will make a difference.
What? I'm confused by that comment.
Oh, is that the one you wanted? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no. I don't understand. Was he out? Was he sick at some point?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was
that
sick.
Arn Anderson?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Tully Blanchard kicked him in the throat. I don't know. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hi.
Good.
Hey, I was gonna say that Tennessee fan that keeps thinking they're going 12-0 and Hendon Hooker is going to win the Heisman. There's 4 teams going to stomp a mold hole in their ass. That's Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina.
All right. Well, there you go, man. Hey, appreciate you calling the program, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right, no problem.
Yeah, some people think that. Glenn Scott, yes, it says, yeah, he was out for half of the season. Okay.
Mayhem Matthews there. Mayhem also made a comment a while back in the chat that the Gamecocks are the same way every year. We're saying, oh, we're beating Georgia, blah, blah. We're going to beat Clemson, blah, blah. And then he said something about stuffing muffin or something. Look, dude, if you watch the South Carolina Gamecocks 2022 college football preview, which you should have done earlier today, you'd see that I didn't pick a win in either one of those games. Shock. So I don't know where you get that from. Maybe there are some idiots out there. In that 2019, nobody was predicting South Carolina to beat Georgia. Shit, that just came out of nowhere. And I think most of them had learned their lesson about predicting a win against Clemson. I'm not going to predict it until it happens. I mean, I ain't believing that's going to happen until it does. Spurs Up Show, dude, in his Gamecocks preview, he has us going 8-4 with a win on the road at Clemson.
I think that, and I'm not trying to defend his pick, but I think that I don't think that he truly believes that. And what I mean by that is that, and Shadow of Death Valley on Twitter took him to task on that and said, can you just give me football logic as to why you think that can happen? And he really couldn't, and no one really can. I mean, it's there's just so many questions that are there for South Carolina, a lot of them on the offensive line, and until they can remedy that and show you, hey, we can stand nose to nose with that good Clemson defensive line and hold them off so Rattler can throw the ball, it's hard as fuck to pick them to win. I mean, it really is. Jackpot doesn't want to hear all that shit, but that's fine.
It's true. Maya Matthews says 6-6, Jack on the potty. South Carolina sucks. South Carolina's about the same level as Mizzou. Just deal with it. South Carolina has a way better quarterback than you do. Deal with it.
And people from South Carolina and Mizzou can write in sentences that actually make sense. Whereas I haven't seen anything that you've written that makes sense there, Mayhem Matthew. We have to have a fucking interpreter to get your comments on the air. That's why sometimes I don't even like highlighting them, because people may see them in passing and think, my God, who are these fucking idiots that listen to this show? They can't fucking type.
Well, they're going to think that one of us wrote that.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, I bet one of those two jerk-offs wrote that. No. Jesus.
JL says the Gamecocks will have to send the FBI to Death Valley to steal Clemson's secrets to winning and being awesome. Well, you know what? Shane Beamer's not a stranger to stealing playbooks and stuff like that.
South Carolina fans need to remember after the Kentucky game, don't drink and drive home. Very good. You know what? All right, Mayhem Matthew, here's what we're going to do for you, sir. Until you write something that is somewhat grammatically correct, I'm not going to post your stuff. You're just chatting.
Matthew says he begs to differ. Stetson is better than Spencer Rattler. Always called Robbie's show and put that on the book of accountability. So, okay, game 7 of last year, would you have said the same thing? No, you wouldn't have.
Your dad is making you look like a fucking idiot.
Exactly.
Thank your defense for that national championship.
803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Daddy-O with some good commentary. Dabo is Satan's cousin. Very good, Daddy-O. I can appreciate some over the top sense like that, some stuff like that. No problem. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Yeah, Paul, all the stuff that we do is on the YouTube channel here, man. You can find it right here on the YouTube channel. So there's that. Big Barney Ross, the Stetson Bennett has a ring. Kiss the ring like the Sopranos. Yeah, okay. He also looks like Screech Powers. So,
Well, he actually cut his hair, so
oh, he
I mean,
did.
when it grows back out, he will again. But
It did. Good. All right. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. If you
there's
want,
no daily radio show. He got
yeah.
the-
I don't do the show anymore for iHeart. I do it exclusively here on the on our channel here, and in addition to our Facebook page. Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Down your feed there,
Hey.
sir.
Hey, Rob. I was just
Hi.
wanting to know your opinion on having a new offense and defensive coordinator. I don't think you'll miss much in your offensive coordinator, but do you think it'll be your defense? Let's say play calling will be the same.
From what I gather, and once again, I mean, I'm just throwing stuff that none of us really get to go to practice and see how things work, but from things that we've heard from players that have been there, some that have left the program, they talked great about the new DC and how he's calmer than Brent Venables is,
Mm-hmm.
but is more of a he's confident, but not over the top, get in your face like Venables was. So there's that.
Yeah, aggressive.
As far as Brandon Streeter goes, I have heard from several folks that he's the offensive coordinator, but Dabo Sweeney might be calling some plays too. And
oh
I
Lord.
I don't know exactly how all that's going to work, but we shall see. I think the big thing with Streeter though is that he's carrying a heavy load this season, meaning that he's the offensive coordinator, but he's got to try to figure out how to talk Uiagalelei back into being a decent quarterback. Because if they roll with Uiagalelei and he plays the way that he did last season, I mean, Clemson will win 10 games again, but they're going to be a flat team. And if they keep rolling with him, then Klubnik's sitting on the bench. If he is gives them somewhat of a spark, and they keep rolling with Uiagalelei, then Klubnik may tell him, you know what, screw you guys, I'm transferring. So there's some of that
makes
too,
sense.
but
Yeah.
I don't know how much Streeter's going to do. We shall see with him.
I don't think they'll be any worse than
everything.
last year anyway.
No, I don't think. Well, I mean, the offense can't be any worse than last season because last season it was the shits. I mean, it really was the shits. They won the South Carolina game with Uiagalelei throwing for 90 yards. I mean, seriously, and you cannot have that this season if they want to compete and match the championship level that the defense is going to have, because the offense is the only thing keeping them from being in San Francisco to play for the national title, because that defense is going to be locked down solid. Now, some people are talking about, could you compare this Clemson team to last year's Georgia team? No. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Yes, this Clemson team's defense is going to be great, but Georgia had weapons on offense that Clemson just doesn't have. Georgia also had an offensive line that Clemson just doesn't have. There are so many questions about this Clemson offense that they got to remedy quick. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The first 3 games are against subpar opponents. That offense needs to go out there and earn their stripes quick before they head to Wake Forest, who's going to be a top 20 team they've got to beat on the road. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll know everything we need to know about Clemson after game 3.
All right. Well, thanks for answering my call.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
Edward O asked me to give his opinion on LSU. I really, don't have one. I don't know what to think of that. I think they're going to be better than I think they're going to be better than what people are predicting them to be. What are they? People are picking them like fourth, fifth in the SEC West. I think they're going to be better than that. There's still some talent left over there.
Dan Mullins is in talks with Tennessee to be an assistant coach. Okay. We shall see. Leonard says Dabo calling plays. He's never been an OC to begin with. He was probably dabbling with the play calling last year, probably why Clemson struggled moving the ball consistently. I think the idea too, by the way, of having two offensive coordinators, I mean, sometimes that's too many voices, maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Mullins calling games for ESPN. Now, the last time I heard, he was going to be a volunteer assistant coach at some prep school in Georgia.
Yeah, we'll see on that too.
I guess that's not happening. Those poor kids aren't going to get tutelage from Danny Boy.
I figured he would be going down to Nick Saban's coaching Saban down there. Yeah, there you go. Let's go back out to the phone.
His coaching Scared Straight program.
Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Arkansas man number 1.
Hello, Arkansas man.
I was so I just wanted to get y'all's opinion on our game against Cincinnati that we played week 1. The line is 7 going our way. I was just wondering what y'all thought about that, and just wondering if that sounds like a pretty good line, or which way y'all would probably be going on that, or I was trying to see what y'all's thoughts were on that.
That's going to be one of our games in the pick'em that week. So yeah,
right.
We'll have our picks in for that. Make sure you get into the Calloway's pick'em challenge. But Jackpot, how are you feeling about that line?
I mean, I would probably roll with Arkansas in that one to cover that. I mean, Cincinnati, yes, I know it was a playoff team last year. They lost a ton. I don't know exactly the numbers, but I know they lost their quarterback. They've lost a ton off the defense. Just really not the same team as last year. So, I think Arkansas takes
secondary has been heavy. Yeah, that secondary has been completely, just about gone as well. A lot of those, bigger names that they had back there, trying to see now. I think that when it comes to controlling the line, I think our offensive line will completely I think we'll demolish the line, I think, when it comes to our O-line on their D-line. I don't happen to know if you guys knew this or not, but our offensive line averages, I think it's 6'5" or 6'6", and they average out at 365 pounds, I think.
Well, that should be. We'll keep an eye on that game, and that'll be one of the ones we pick. So I'm taking Arkansas straight up to win. It depends on if the line stays at 7 or goes to 7.5 on whether I would roll with Cincinnati or not. I think should be a close game, because you got to remember too, it's the first game of the season. Not everybody's going to be hitting on all cylinders too.
and I'm pretty sure we all remember how that Arkansas and Rice game started last year. Oh my God. I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but we were down 17-10 going into halftime.
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
But again, I mean, it's a new year, and guys, are getting back out there, and it is what it is. But I'm hoping that we can really come out and set things straight. But anyways, I appreciate y'all for taking my call, and you guys have a good night.
All right, back out to the phones we go. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
Hi, is this the Danny Cannell show?
I'm sorry, I think you have a number, but I do have a theme song for you. How are you, sir?
Well played, sir. Bravo, bravo. This question is for the actual football fan between you two, who's in a real conference, Mr. Carolina Jackpot. How bad are you hoping that Gomer Pyle-looking SOB that looks like somebody took Toucan Sam's beak and planted it right between his eyes calls plays for Clemson this year, how well would that work out for the Gamecocks?
I don't, I'm assuming you're talking about Dabo. Is there like an actual rumor that he's going to be calling the plays? I haven't heard this.
That's something that I've heard, that he's dabbling. He may be trying to put some stuff in there. I heard that he was doing some of that during the bowl game, is what I was told. I don't know. We'll see.
Please let that happen. Oh my God! Please let that man call plays.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think, Rob? Do you think he was calling the plays before and it just wasn't publicized, or?
I think that from what I've been told by some folks that are on the inside up there, that he does have the option to go out of a play. I also was told that in Trevor Lawrence's final season, or actually the final 2 seasons for Trevor Lawrence went to the line at the with the play and changed it pretty much. I think it was like 70% of the time, simply because the matchup was horrible and they were getting, in his opinion, shitty calls from the offensive coaching staff up there. So I think that the Clemson offense has, even when they were good with Lawrence back there, a lot of it had to do with the fact that you had Lawrence and ETN that could cover up a lot. And I think that Lawrence out there basically trying to be Jim Kelly and just calling plays. I think there's the Dabo it may end up being some of that. I don't know. We'll see though. I've heard it. I mean, I've heard it's out there.
So is there any chance that Lawrence was changing the plays 70% of the time because Dabo sent the original play in there and he had to fix it?
I don't know. I think it may have come down to, I don't know the whole thing on that front. I do know that he audibled at that rate. Okay. Which means that whoever was calling the plays, he didn't like it and obviously would find something else. So there's that.
That reeks of Dat Boy. That's what that is. That's Dat Boy trying to play offense.
Yep.
And Dat Boy is that dumb that the Sunshine Girl had to change the play 70% of the time for them to have any kind of success.
Why are you mocking someone that was a number 1 overall pick in the draft? Why are you doing that? What is your problem?
Oh my God.
He was a number 1 overall pick in the draft, sir. Why are you mocking him? You'll sit up here and you'll fucking drag dick about some Georgia defensive lineman that's fucking top 8, god damn it. But the guy's number 1 pick in the draft and you want to throw stones at him. I guess that just shows what kind of football fan you are. You don't really know much unless there's a Georgia sign on it or Jimbo Fisher blowing a load on your tits.
Jimbo Fisher, first of all, he missed my tits the last time by like half a foot.
Of course he did.
So,
that's why you have pimples on your face from the herpes from him.
No, listen, as bad as you hate it, A&M's going to win the West next year. That's written in stone. That's a fact.
They're not winning shit. They're not winning shit.
That's a fact. So
I will bet you a bottle of some of that good bourbon that our friend Big Barney Ross has up there in Kentucky, because they do get bourbon right up there, that A&M doesn't win the West next year. You take that bet?
Yep. Jimbo is winning the West.
Next year, not this year, next year. They're not going to win it this year either. But
this year. They're winning the West this year.
Oh,
that's
well,
the bet
fuck.
right
I'm
now.
going to be drunk as fuck at Christmas on your dime. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Reminder to all your listeners that last year at this time you were telling us all how dumb Kirby was and how he was going to blow it this year. So there you go.
Okay. All right. Anything else, sir?
Exactly.
Anything else?
Crickets, Rob. Yeah, I do want to ask Jackpot. I thought the video he put out today on the Carolina Gamecocks season, I really thought that was accurate. And I can't really argue anything that he said. I want to ask him his take on, for an outsider looking in. I really feel like Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky is a toss-up for second in the East. I really, there's question marks on all three of those teams. What does you feel? Is that accurate? Like if you were to just scramble all three of those and gave them all a coin toss at number 2 in the East, is that would you say that's a fair assessment? All three of them have enough question marks where they're kind of all on the same level.
I think so. I mean, of course, I mean, those two, I mean, Grant, last year, both those two, I mean, I think you have to argue probably a little bit more success in SEC play than South Carolina did. Probably, a little bit better. I think South Carolina will be the one that most improved out of those three. I think Kentucky takes a step back. And, I keep getting pushback from that by Kentucky fans in the comment sections here and on Twitter and everywhere. You're arguing with them. I mean, it's not – I mean, is it me or is it just that they – and I made this comment as well. People now are just seem to pigeonhole Kentucky as a number 20, 22, 23 ranked team just off Mark Stoops' reputation. And I think they don't even dive into the roster and even look at it.
No, and really, you kind of busted me on that. I'll be honest with you. That was my take too. And then when you really broke it down by position, they're missing a lot. And you're right. People get used to a coach and kind of what they've built their reputation on. But if the guys are not there, they're not there. And I think you articulated your point pretty well. Oh, Rob, articulate. Do I need to go into that definition for you?
You can't spell the word, so don't try. But I was going to say, when you look at team with overall talent as far as 4- and 5-star players on the team, you look at LSU out in the West, they've got a ton of that talent that is still there, where they were in top 15, top 10 recruiting classes with Orgeron. A lot of those guys are still there, and the guys that Kelly brought in, I mean, we kind of may be thinking of LSU as kind of an afterthought, but as far as just roster alone, I'm not saying they're going to win the West, but they're going to be solid. They're not going to be a bitch this year. I believe that.
Yeah, and they may be the opposite of what Jackpot was just talking about with Kentucky. Is that kind of what you were getting at?
Yep, that's exactly what I was getting at. You're following along. I'm proud of you.
Well, sometimes we speak the same language. I'm embarrassed to admit.
Sometimes we do. Yeah, sometimes.
Does anybody think that Mizzou will be dangerous this year?
No, negative.
No. I think Mizzou will struggle to win 2 conference games.
Yeah, they really don't have a quarterback, and they got some good wide receivers, but they don't have a quarterback, and they got questions there in the run game. So
you can make an argument that Arkansas is the Kentucky of the West. Everybody's plugging Arkansas that they're going to be this great thing, but if we're just looking at it from the 4- and 5-star ratio, they don't have the talent that is going to verify their record. I mean, they just don't have it. So, I mean, they really – and now their coach may will them to a couple of wins. Not saying they're going to be the shits, but as far as overall talent, they don't have – their roster's not nearly as good as LSU's. It's not nearly as good as Ole Miss either when you look at what Lane Kiffin's been bringing in there.
Yeah, that's true. I can't argue that. Hey, I will say this, guys. I was just outside of Gainesville here at a bar with some buddies last night, and we actually pulled up some of the calls and some of the shows from your guys' show, from y'all's show last year, right about this time, and some of that stuff was legendary, man. Go back for you people who are listening or watching on YouTube. Go back exactly a year ago and listen to Uncle LGBT Lou call in and myself call in, and there was some vicious fights going on, but it was priceless, man. It will make you belly laugh for sure. So
and we're
guys,
gonna have that we're gonna have that this season. And by the way, I need you to text me your address. I'm gonna send you some pimple patches to get rid of those marks that that Jimbo Fisher left on your face. I'm here for you.
Rob, you know my address. You've been here many times, sir. Well, let's stop
Yeah,
pretending. Let's stop
I
pretending.
know. That's a good point. That's a good point. Anyway, go ahead.
You've been here to pick your wife up on many Sunday mornings. You know that. So
Papa B says that Missouri running back was good last year. Yeah, Tyler Beatty, as the guys on the Mazodcast said, that he brought that big dick energy.
Exactly.
There is no big dick energy in Mizzou this year, unfortunately. There's they need some blue chew.
Some blue chew. All right, Pagan. Hey man, thank you for calling the show, buddy. We appreciate it.
Mayhem Matthew made a comment over in the comment section. I don't know what he was really referring to. Say Golden Blue Dude, West Virginia football channel. Golden Blue Dude's a West Virginia YouTuber who never talks about fucking West Virginia. He talks about whatever topic is relevant to get views. But props to him. I mean, he's doing it the right way. He's getting, that's nasty. A ton of them. I've been watching that channel's grown quickly over there. But I can't. I don't do that very well. I'm gonna talk to my team and talk shit about our opponents and this and that. But I'm not breaking down NIL deals for you and doing conference expansion talk and all this stuff. I just don't. Yeah. Some subjects can get talked to death.
Edward O says, y'all sleeping on Rattler. SC didn't have a quarterback last year and won 6 games. That's fair. Can't really argue that.
South Carolina last year was 20. If you take Joyner's touchdown passes in the bowl game away, regular season wise, they were 20. South Carolina threw 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and Zeb Noland was 7 touchdowns and 1 interception. So that really shows you how bad that Luke Doty and Downtown Brown were. I mean, they were rough, man, really rough. Downtown Brown had a good game against Florida.
Someone was talking about should Doty transfer. If I'm Luke Doty, I'm thinking I'm going to change positions because he's a hell of an athlete. If he wants to be on the field, he should change positions. He really should.
He is, and I got a guy in his feelings on Facebook. I think it was yesterday, and I said that I didn't think that he was an SEC caliber quarterback. And they're like, he came in with Mike Bobo there at the end after Muschamp got fired, and that team was basically dead. Okay, well, I mean, he didn't give any kind of spark to it. Okay, and then he was hurt all last year, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, I mean, there's just a busload of excuses. I mean, I don't think he's that good.
Ballsteak says, why was Rattler scared to throw in the spring game? I mean, it's and I'm not ripping you here, Ballsteak, but it's the fucking spring game. No one gives a shit. Spring game performances don't really mean shit, sir. I mean, they're not. And by the way, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm not going to give Arkansas, which is South Carolina's first opponent after Georgia State, any tape of Rattler throwing anything. Throw some 5-yard slants so they could get from him. They could watch that tape at Oklahoma. But as far as anything else, I'm not going to put that out there in the spring game. Why in God's name would you do that? No offense to you there, buddy, but it's the way that it is.
May and Matthew said, Jackpot, I care about you enough. I don't want you to stroke out if you think, but I care about you enough that I don't want you to stroke out if you think anything more than a 6-6 record for the small cocks. Don't know who that is.
Yeah. I haven't watched your video yet, Jackpot, but you went game by game with South Carolina. And, I'm probably going to I might do that this week with some of the afternoon shows, but what did you have South Carolina finishing? I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
75.
Yeah. I think most logical fans would
have us with wins over Georgia State, wins over Georgia State, Charlotte, South Carolina State, Kentucky, Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee, and losing to Arkansas, Georgia, Texas A&M, Florida and Clemson.
We'll have to see. I'm going to do mine too, but yeah, I mean, watch Jackpot's videos on these previews because Peg and Megan was talking about it earlier. He goes in depth with that shit. I mean, it's really, really good stuff.
Thank you
Some
very
of the stuff
much.
that's out there.
Thank you.
And
I
Peg
try.
says, only Vol fans bring up spring game. Thank you, Peg and Megan, for the $20 super chat. You, sir, are pretty funny. All right. Anyway, we will be
Leonard
bringing.
Sarasota says 7-5 is very logical. Crock pot. The only delusional pick you made was the Tennessee game. Look, I mean, I made a promise to Rob, and I wasn't going to talk about them because I wasn't going to give them any damn attention tonight. But goddamn,
And we haven't mentioned them at all, by the way.
No, we haven't. But I mean, these fuckers act like you weren't even ranked in the damn coaches poll that came out last week. I mean, stop acting like you're fucking Alabama. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Y'all act like that me picking South Carolina to beat Tennessee is as delusional if I said that we're going to beat Georgia or Clemson. I mean, come on. I mean, get over yourselves. You're not that good, as Rob likes to say. You're not that good. You're not on that level.
Right. Yeah. You need to step out of your bubble for a second. And we haven't been talking about you. And then tonight, and then half the reason why is exactly what Jackpot said. You're not worthy of us to sit here and talk about.
Leonard says Crockpot act like you didn't lose by 25. Yes, we did. That was also an anomaly. I mean, those games are usually close.
All right, so under that logic, can we just say the same thing about you lost to Georgia State? Can we talk about that?
Exactly.
Last time you played Georgia State, they beat your ass in your fucking dump stadium. Can we talk about that? Oh no, that doesn't matter.
They also lost to BYU.
Yeah.
I mean never mind. That's expected. BYU's a better football program than Tennessee. Never mind.
But it's funny because they think that we pick at them, but they come in here and they run their dick suckers, and it's like you're not that good.
Wesley Abrams says USC Junior has never been relevant. Yeah, they were. I mean, they played for the national championship just in what 2005. Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, and all those guys. I mean, hell, yeah, they're real relevant.
Smokey Dog says, so salty, cry more, Rob. At least Jackpot offers logic. Okay, I'm not crying about Tennessee.
What is he crying?
You're not irrelevant. What am I crying about? You're not a relevant program. You are not relevant. It's not 1998. Okay? Peyton Manning is not dripping his balls on a trainer's chin. All right? That's not what we have now. You are just slightly below Mizzou in total wins since Mizzou joined the conference. Know your role, sir. You're not that good. Yeah, we beat the shit out of Mizzou last year. So what? As far as overall, I mean, I've got the note right here. Let me bring this up. You like logic, sir? Do you like logic? Do you like facts? Because I've got it right here for you. Since 2012, Mizzou has 38 SEC wins. They've won 38 SEC games. I'm sorry, 38 wins in the SEC. Tennessee has 29. So there's that. Mizzou, a team that is a shithole, has 9 more conference wins than you do. All right. You have the same amount of conference wins as Kentucky does since 2012. That is where you are. That's not me crying. That is a fact, sir. Take that fact home and smoke on that a little bit. All right. Someone sent us a super chat. What is it? Big Barney Ross. There you go. Hold on. I got to highlight that. Wait a minute. Big Barney Ross. Big Barney Ross's super chat. It says, Vols win the Natty. Has it taken away by the committee for 18 rules violations? Okay. Very good, sir. Oh, man.
Papa B says, has Missouri even beaten a team from the West since they joined the SEC?
Yes. They beat
Ole Miss.
They beat
Arkansas.
They beat LSU. What was it, last season or the season before? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
man.
It was the season before. Yeah, I forgot all about that. They sure did.
Wesley says, how about we go live for the Georgia State game? I want to see your reaction to you getting your turn. You think Georgia State is going to beat South Carolina? Do you want to go out on that ledge, sir?
I wouldn't go too far. Damn. Yeah, South Carolina knows his tendencies too, because we've studied Sean Elliott used to be the coach here.
You just can't with these Tennessee folks.
I can't. If you roll the clock back to 2015, even though he got upset by the Citadel, knowing now, if you're a Gamecock fan, if you knew then what you know now, would you have said keep the guy, give him a low dollar contract, and let him be head coach, and just not even act like Will Muschamp existed?
I think that I thought that Sean Elliott would have been a good hire, but who knows? I mean, he knows the state. The guy's from Camden, which is 40 miles from damn Billy Bryce. So, Mayhem Matthews says, how many points you giving me? I'll take Georgia State. Georgia State didn't need points when they went to Tennessee. Didn't need them. Just so you know. All right. Bible Belt says, I'd like to see you guys do some live streams together.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. How can I undo that? I'm sorry. Dr. Bark, I timed you out for 300 seconds. I apologize. I meant to pin your comment to the top of the chat, the one that says Voltard's gargling Heupel's dick cheese over a 7-6 season, and I timed you out. So no offense, no worries. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know how you can undo it though. So
yeah, it'll come back in shortly. Bible Belt says, like to see us do some live streams together this year. We'll see how that goes. I don't like messing with Jackpot during his in-game streams are just great. I mean, if he wants me to do something with him, I will, but to be honest, when we do some, I mean, I like doing some of them with him, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that.
I ain't gonna lie to you. All this thing says broken toe. Brandon Coon's talking about a broken toe. When I first glanced over at that, my eyes aren't what they used to be, and things look kind of cloudy. Sometimes when I looked down the iPad earlier when they first started talking about it, right when we first started the show, I thought it said camel toe.
Welcome to the program. Good evening.
This is Justin. Roll Tide. I think Alabama's gonna win the national championship this year.
Hey,
I think it's gonna be Alabama. This is my top four. Okay, here's my top four, right? I got Alabama #1, Alabama #1, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, Utah 4.
That sounds like a pretty solid list.
Appreciate it, man.
Alabama 1, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, Utah 4. What's your think?
All right.
Yeah, and that's good. We'll have to be a good matchup when we see Ohio State beat the shit out of Clemson again.
My goodness. Jackpot
James
might
Thompson.
turn down.
So where's Ziggy? You see Ziggy.
Jackpot might burn down the Christmas tree this year with all the his Gamecocks.
Y'all see Ziggy?
Yes, we see Ziggy.
Okay, well, don't get damn testy about it. I just asked.
No, I wasn't getting testy. Ziggy's the official dog of the program.
He's sleeping. Give me UEDB.
So Neil says, I'm cleaning my kitchen and all I hear is Roll Tide. That's funny. All right. Well, Edward asks, what are we sipping on? I am sipping on, I got a little bit of whiskey over here. That's what I got. I don't know what Jackpot's got.
Nothing here. I had some Diet Mountain Dew. I got to
Diet Mountain Dew
early and go to work. No.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap the show. We'll be back at it on Wednesday as we get closer and closer to football season. Thank you guys for the super chats, and we'll see you later on.